I don't know if this workshop was helpful for you because you were more on the tech side.
It's all the
Um,
same side. That's
huh?
it's all the same side. That's my answer to that statement. It's all the same process. It's all the same, blah blah. I'm trying to get to the point where I can just apply to everything I possibly can with a standardized format. So no, I actually think it was extremely useful. Thank you so much for putting it together.
Glad it helped. Because once you start talking to me about websites and stuff like that, then I blank out.
But the website is for art, so it's still even,
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
yeah, but usually, you need, like you said, you need money to pay for that website,
Fair enough.
unless you decide to go the crowdfunding way, which is another option.
I'm making the way.
Okay. I realized the other day that I've been teaching this workshop since like 2018. I was looking at old emails. I was like, oh, actually 2016.
Thanks
Quite
for
a
the
while.
resources, Angela. I got them. Thank you.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Where's Leo? We ready to start. It's 1:11. You want to jump on and do your intro?
Yes, sorry, coming right up. Hello, everyone. We have everybody here. How many people we have? We have 8. That includes Angie and myself. So we have 6 other participants. That's fantastic. So, for those of you that were here last week, you kind of already know the description of all parties involved, but I hope you guys don't mind hearing it one more time. Then also, we want to address those that weren't here. So my name is Leopold, and I am a volunteer at the Children's Art Carnival. And the Children's Art Carnival is the host behind this particular workshop on grant writing for creatives, who is being delivered by Angy Abreu from the Dominican Writers Association. But just to give you a little background, the Children's Art Carnival is I would say, community art center, who focuses on bringing arts and activities to the communities of specifically, I would say, northern Manhattan, which is Harlem, Washington Heights, Inwood, but all people from all boroughs are welcome to participate in what we do. Um, Children's Art Carnival provides in person, in addition to like this virtual workshop, but we also provide in person workshops because we have an actual location, a beautiful classic brownstone turned into an art center in West Harlem. Um, Details of that could be found if you log on to childrensartcarnival.org. You'll be able to see that and the address and all and we have a full calendar of other things we have going on. But yeah, it's an amazing program that's been around for, wow, I would say going back to the 70s, starting with teaching and educating children. But now, in today's time, we are also addressing adults and the needs of also artists by offering technical assistance in the form of workshops like this, which is grant writing. We hosted wheelhouse workshops we have coming up on how to write a bio for an artist. Many of the challenges a lot of artists face, creators face, we want to help them solve or resolve or find resources for. And we provide that through these workshops and other activities. But on the community art side, we also provide workshops for adults, but also families and children, because we also want people to engage and to be incorporated and to embrace the arts that's very much alive and well in our communities. Meaning, you don't have to go all the way to the MoMA, all the way to the Met, or the Guggenheim, or the Whitney to experience art activities for the community. We can actually have it in our own backyard. So the Children's Art Carnival provides that there. Lastly, I'll say, in addition to all that, in our beautiful building, we're also hosting art studios and art residencies for some of the local artists we have in our community. So if you ever get a chance to come over during our hours of operation, you guys can come in or schedule an appointment to visit one of the artist studios, by which you get to learn about some of the artists that are beautifying our community with their work and their creativity. So I've said a mouthful right there. I think that was enough for me. I think taking up no more time, we'll pass it on to Angie, and I will return later for the closing. Hopefully this time we'll get it on, Angie. So don't forget to look me up when I come back for the closing. But folks, I want you all to enjoy your time here and take notes, because Angie is official when she delivers resources and information about getting grants for artists like yourselves. So enjoy, and I'll speak to you guys. Thank you. Take it away, Angie.
So, thank you everyone for joining us. For those of you who are new and weren't here during last session and my introduction, my name is Angy Abreu. I have about 20 years this year now working in the federal and non-federal sector as a grants manager. And as I've been fulfilling these duties, I've learned that these skills that I have can also be applied to our creative side. So aside from that, I am also a CBO in the Uptown Washington Heights community. I run a 501c3 nonprofit for about 5 years now called Dominican Writers Association. And I also make sure that I share the information that I have with other creatives, because there's tons of money out there and people are usually dipping into their pockets, dipping into their savings to fund their creative passions. And yes, you could start like that, but it doesn't need to stay that way. For example, I started that way, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's money out there. Yeah, okay. Let's tap into those funds. Okay. So today, last week, we were talking about how to research grant applications, how to look them up. I also shared that you could use Perplexity to research these grant applications. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite parts, which is AI. I know a lot of folks are scared about AI. AI is going to take my job. AI is the scary big thing that is going to ruin our lives, but AI is also beneficial for you. So we're going to talk about that side of AI, okay? Not the other bad, unethical things that happens with it. So I want you all to, let me share my screen, similar to last week. I want you, can you see my screen? Yes,
Right now
no,
it's blank. It's blank, Angie. I mean, it says Dominican Writers has started screen
it's
sharing, but
loading.
yeah, it's loading. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's give it a sec. There. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. Right? So, I want you to take the time to write down the following. You're going to be using this information, so please take about 5 to 7 minutes to write down this information and include as much information as you can. Don't do one word or one sentence, because the more information you have, the better it is for you to use the AI. Okay, so describe your primary creative discipline. Or your role in collaborative projects. How does this discipline or role shape your approach to art and creativity? What is your mission statement, right? Why are you doing this work? In a few sentences, please articulate the core purpose and motivation behind your artistic endeavors or your project. What is driving you to do this work? Why are you passionate about achieving this through your art, right? Then we have broader implications of your art project. Who is going to benefit from you doing this work? In what ways? How do you envision your art contributing to conversations, community, or change on a local, national, or global scale? So number 3, though important, you may not know what that is just yet, but you can also use AI to figure that out, right? So if you have done any creative work before, if you have done, written anything creatively that describes you as an artist, those are things that would be important for you to have handy that you could upload to the AI to help you decipher who you are as a creative artist. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes so that you could answer these questions to the best of your ability. There is no perfect answer, folks, okay? Just answer them as best you can and with as much context as possible. You have 2 minutes. Okay. And stop. Okay. So these questions are designed to prompt reflection and introspection, helping you clarify your artistic identity and goals. And by answering these questions, you'll not only be preparing to engage more fully in the grant writing process, but also laying the groundwork for creating proposals that genuinely reflect your vision and impact. As we move forward, keep these answers in mind. That will be the foundation upon which you will build your grant writing skills, integrating your unique artistic voice with the power of AI tools such as ChatGPT. Okay, so here, imagine a world where the brainstorming process is limitless and your ability to articulate ideas is enhanced by an intelligent partner who never gets tired. This is the potential of AI in grant writing. ChatGPT, which is a powerful AI developed by an open AI, can serve as your brainstorming partner, generating creative ideas, drafting proposals, and even suggesting improvements. So I'm also going to introduce Perplexity to you guys and Claude. Okay, so if you don't have a ChatGPT account, please go to this URL and create a free account. I have a paid version, so I'm not sure what's the difference between both, but we're gonna walk through that. Okay, so just go to this URL, create an account, and open that page. And I will open it here on my end. We're gonna open. Perplexity. Okay, how's everyone doing? You create an account? Okay, so let me see. I am going to stop sharing that page and we're gonna go here. Okay, and I need to open. Um, so I am going to share the screen. Okay, loading. Do you see my screen on ChatGPT 4.0 or whatever the case may be? Okay, now on the left-hand side, these are all ChatGPT assistants that I've created to run my business. If you can, just look through it. Don't go crazy over it. I'm super like crazy with anything that's gonna make my job easier. So, we are going to create a new conversation, right? We're over here, we're creating a new conversation, and we are going to copy and paste the text that you have in this box, okay? But first of all, I want you to tell them to assign ChatGPT a role. That is the most important thing, okay? So we're going to say you are a grants writer with more than 20 years expertise. I want you to help me identify my identity as a creative artist. I am going to share some information with you. Please read it, analyze it, and ask me questions until it is polished enough to use. Okay? Did I make any? So start with that prompt, okay? And at the end, you're gonna put a colon and you're gonna copy and paste what you wrote, the 3 questions that I had you answer. And for any of you who completed this and that ChatGPT gave you a response, please share. I could also give you access to sharing your Zoom so that other people can see what it did for you. Let me know if any of you are done.
So in my case, it actually prompted a bunch of follow-up questions, Angie, which is making me think I wasn't clear enough.
Yeah, so exactly. So we asked it to ask you questions until it has a polished version. Once it's clear on who you are, it's going to give you that information as clearly as possible.
And then I have a question. Do you answer like line by line, or can you just answer everything?
You could answer everything. You could give it all as much information as you can.
Got it.
In your response. Is everyone else getting follow-up questions as well, like Pilar? Please share. Let me know what's going on your end. Is it working? Is it not working? We're all so quiet. Maciel, what's going on with you?
I'm still typing my answers.
Okay. What about you, Eduardo?
I'm following along today just because I need to add a lot more technical information for my project, but so I'm not following the prompts, but I am listening.
Okay. And Edu, who else we got here? Dionisio, Lily.
Hi, it's great. So it's great that the question is, should I answer that questions like with the content of the question itself, or the machine knows which,
What do you mean?
yeah, for example, I have purpose and vision. Vision. What specific impact do you hope your theater work has on audiences?
Mm-hmm.
Should I answer the specific impact I hope my theater work will have on audiences is, do you know?
Yes.
Yeah, should I answer
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
okay, okay. Okay. My God, it's a lot of work. Okay, perfect.
Well, you only have to do it once,
Yeah,
right? Because then you could use this information to write your artist statement,
great.
right? And then if you need to apply for grants as an artist and they ask you for artist statement, you already have that written down,
Yes.
right? And it's
That's great.
something that you're going to constantly be asked for.
Yes. Okay. And do you in for artist statements, do you put like the number, the 10-year experience and
Yeah,
the
it's like your
yeah?
bio, but who you are as an artist.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was like more philosophical.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Andy, so I have a question. I don't mind sharing my screen.
Okay, give me a sec.
Or I can just say it here. It's fine. I don't. Yeah, you can just leave your. So I have a question. It keeps. So I'm responding to the questions, and then it provides more prompts, right? And so my question is, then how do we make sense of all of this beautiful information, and then how? Yeah, like the organization part of it.
At the end, you're going to ask it to condense everything into
Oh,
a
I see.
specific format, right? So
Okay.
now that
Okay.
it knows all this information about you, right?
Okay.
You're going to tell it to take all this information that you have shared with it and to put it in the format of an artist statement.
Got it.
You're gonna
Okay.
say
Or
draft,
okay. See. Okay.
right? So you're gonna say,
Yeah.
take all of this that now you know, and I want you to draft an artist statement.
Right. Okay. And the same could be said, to, let's say, polish a project proposal, like for.
Yes, you could just upload. Well, I don't know if the free version allows you to upload any files or if it has any limitations, but on the paid version, you could upload Google Docs. You could connect it to your Google Drive. So if you have an entire application already written down, you could ask it to read it, review it, and help you polish it.
Okay, got it. Cool. Thanks, Andy.
And you could also ask to give you suggestions, give you its opinion. What do you think? Is there any area of improvement? do you think there's information that I should include that I didn't include, and so on. We're gonna go through that.
Okay, cool.
How's everybody else doing?
I finally typed in my questions and asked it the questions, but then it didn't give me anything. It's just sitting there.
Refresh your browser, Lily,
Okay.
and make sure that you included the prompt that I gave you. And after your prompt, you're going to put the response to the questions that I initially asked you.
I did put all that. I don't know what it, maybe my internet is slow or something.
No, it shouldn't. But if you want, can you copy and paste it in the chat and I'll use yours as an example?
Sure. Let me just, yeah.
Angie, I did mine and it asked me 5 follow-up questions. So do I now answer those 5 follow-up
Yeah.
questions?
Do the follow-up questions make sense to you?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
basically
and so
says
answer
everything
them.
that I want
Yeah.
to say. Okay.
Because we told it to ask you questions until it has enough information to give you a polished version.
Do you want me to share my questions or are we just typing in our answer?
No, just type your response and I'll come back and you can let me know what ended up happening. You good, Lily?
I can't get it pasted into the chat. I'm
You can't?
struggling today. No, it's not giving me the option to paste. I'm on my iPad. That's probably the problem. Paste. Finally. Okay. That was more
Yeah, the
difficult than
iPad.
it needed to be.
Okay, so this is so here you put I am musical. So that's the end of it, mission statement. Okay, this is everything you sent me.
And I didn't get to impact.
Okay,
I didn't even answer it.
what would be your impact?
Good question.
You want it to help you?
I want people to like
figure out
understand
your
each other
impact?
more.
You
Like
want
understand them.
people to- I'm sorry, repeat that?
I want people to understand themselves more and each other more after seeing my work.
By through music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You seen the screen, Lily?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Right? So it's giving you, it's like psychoanalyzing you, right?
Yeah, it really is.
So, and then it's asking you questions to elaborate on certain parts, right? And then it's telling you, what do you mean by weird? What entails weird? What is that, right?
That's cool. Wow, that is.
And then it says, musically unique facilitate this kind of understanding in your opinion. Does it bring out vulnerability or openness in people that words alone might not reach? So you see, this is a part of the impact, right? You said that you want people to understand themselves through music. Is your hope that audiences leave with a clear sense of empathy, self-acceptance, or a shift in how they perceive interpersonal connections?
Wow. It's like a psychologist.
Yes.
How does it know those things?
Exactly. And this is just based off what you shared.
That's wild.
Right?
That's
so
cool.
It's just asking you to look a little bit deeper into yourself, Lily.
Thank you for
Do you really know who you are? We're gonna
really.
find out who you really are as an artist today, right? Pilar, how you doing?
Yeah, no, it's I'm appreciating that it's telling me, you know, adding a budget would be helpful, adding outcomes would be like, I already have that information, but it's kind of like
Oh, you
anticipating
pretty
things.
far, girl. How did you get to that part from all of this?
No, it's just okay, so I asked, do you need more information? As you told me, and then that's where it said it would be helpful to have a budget, it would be helpful to do this, this, and that.
Does it need more information regarding your statement?
So regarding my statement, okay, no, let me ask it for my statement. Create an
No, because I'm trying to figure out how you moved from your statement to now asking it, having it ask you for a budget, because I wouldn't.
Oh, because I said, do you need, because I was doing, the prompt that I did was, I'm pasting a project proposal, tell me what you need.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a proposal in the works, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it
But now
asked you, it asked you if you had a budget.
Right, right. And now it's come up with a pretty nice artist statement, I gotta say. Because I asked it, can you write an artist statement based on what I said?
Yes. So,
Yeah.
and then in regards to the budget, let's say you have a cap, you could tell them, help me draft a budget
Oh, okay.
and keep it under this amount,
Okay.
right? Based on the proposal that you shared,
Okay.
right? But also, if you're not very sure, you could also say, hey, I have this idea for this project. Help me flesh out this idea. Ask me questions until I figure it out, right? And then once you've done that, you could put in the budget, like how much money would I need to put this together? Or can I do this within a $5,000 budget? Right? And then it's going to draft the budget for you, and and then you just keep going from there.
Okay.
Right?
All
And
right.
this is
Okay.
helpful when you're working on projects and you're submitting for unsolicited work, right? Because there are entities, for example, I work with New York Presbyterian Hospital, and I know that they have funds for certain projects, right? So I'm like, okay, I want to offer this. It's not that they're asking me to offer anything, but I have programming or a specific project that I would want to offer, right? And I tell them, hey, this is what I have in mind. This is what it would cost.
Okay.
Right? And you go from there. And of course, it's very important that you include the benefits, the impact. Like, why does this proposal make sense for the community that you are pitching it to?
Right, right.
Maciel, how you doing? You look deep in thought.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be as specific as possible because I know the more you give it, the better it is. But right now, it really read me, to be honest. It's just asking me how I identify myself and how do I use my art to, how do I use storytelling to create healing?
Okay.
And how I plan to impact.
Going with that, you can now ask it to give you ideas of projects that you could do as an artist, now that it knows who you are.
Okay.
Give me ideas. What do you think I should be doing? And see if you like any of them. Rosendo, you doing the exercise?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I thought this started at 1 and then I saw 1:30 and I don't know if I was late, but I got to the questions when there was maybe 2 or 3 minutes left. I didn't get to get down to the third one or really complete the second. But yes, I'm doing the exercise. The impact is.
Do you want me to send you the questions?
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yes,
I
please.
could paste it in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you very much. But no, I'm following along regardless.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, could you resend those questions to me as well? Because I had to step out for a moment, so I didn't get to finish the answering the questions. Thank you.
So, for some reason, I copied it and it bunched everything together, but if you read it, you'll see there's creative discipline, the mission statement, and impact. JP, how you doing? JP has a bio though. That's pretty good. But
I put my website and I applied for a fellowship and they asked me to figure out what I'm gonna do with the fellowship, et cetera, and I pasted that in as well.
okay. So what did it say?
So you're asking me like, well, if I thought it was real, if I thought it was
Yeah,
effective.
how was the response?
It was pretty good, man. It was pretty detailed and it got an overall understanding of what I'm doing, you know.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Now, folks, you tried ChatGPT, which is wonderful, but one of my favorites is Claude. Okay, and what you could do is the same information you pasted on ChatGPT, paste it on Claude.ai. It is also has a free component as well, and try it also with Perplexity AI. So I am going to use Lily as an example again. I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to put it in Perplexity. Now remember that Perplexity gives you sources, right? So this may be, the response will be a little bit different from what ChatGPT will give you. So Lily, if you see here, it broke down the information that you gave it. And it says, you know, what your artistic medium is, where your artistic approach is, what your musical influences are, your mission, character focus, and musical style, right? And it says to refine your mission and impact, it has these 5 questions for you. And if you notice, the questions are not the same as the ones that the ChatGPT asked you. They're similar, but not exactly.
That is really interesting. Oh, and
Right?
already it gives them that artistic.
And then it says, look, and it gives you a draft of an artist statement. We didn't even ask it for that. Right?
Oh.
It gave you a draft right here. And then it gave you a draft of what your mission statement should look like. And then it gave you a draft of what your impact statement should look like.
Wow.
And then here you have other related questions that you could ask the Perplexity for follow-up and just to polish up your statement.
Huh. That's really cool.
Right? You may have questions down here that you didn't think about at all. Like, how do you ensure your music is accessible to a wider audience? Right?
What themes
what makes your musicals different from traditional ones? And these things may be information that you want to include in your artist statement.
That middle one, can you describe a specific character?
right?
I should say-
Now, if we go to Claude,
Wow.
Claude will, let's put this in here and let's see what it'll do. So it also gave you an outline of what you were sharing. And it gave you specific questions for you to answer. 4. Okay. So Claude is a little bit more straight to the point, whatever Perplexity will get a little bit more creative with its responses.
Angie, can you re-say what you would like us to do this time? Sorry, I was so into my response.
Well, the last final part is to have a drafted artist statement for you.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a grant here for the Bronx Council of the Arts. It is a grant for, it's called the Arts Fund. I don't know. Can you see the screen? Did it replace the? Let me see. Yes, you see the grant, right? So this grant is to develop Bronx artists and small arts organizations through its support of high quality arts projects that engage Bronx audiences in a diverse array of artistic works in all disciplines. The people who are eligible are individual artists, unincorporated artist collective or ensembles, and nonprofit organizations with a budget of less than $100,000. Okay, so we're going to look for the guidelines. Here we go. Here are the guidelines. I'm going to download the guidelines. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, you see my Perplexity browser, right? We're going to keep working with Lily's project. Okay, now here it gives me the option of uploading a file, and it says I am attaching guidelines to the Bronx Council of the Arts Fund. Do I qualify for this grant? I misspelled, but it's to read it. And it's reviewing the eligibility criteria. It tells you what it's doing step by step, is determining if personal qualifications against the eligibility criteria from the grant guidelines. And it says here, based on the guidelines from the Bronx Council of the Arts, here's an analysis of whether you qualify for this grant. So it's telling you, you gotta live in the Bronx, you gotta be in New York City. Grants are open to individual artists. As a musical theater writer, you qualify as an individual artist. You have to be at least 18 years old. So it assumes that you are over 18. Then it has project requirements. Project must engage at least one segment of the Bronx. Your work should include community engagement. Then it says here, individual artists without a fiscal sponsor, you can apply for up to $8,000 if combining funds from multiple sources. Then it tells you your project timeline, additional considerations, and conclusion, right? So I'm going to say here in the project requirements, okay, I'm going to say I am over 18. I live in the Bronx. Let's brainstorm ideas for projects that can fall under the following. Keeping in mind the budget cap you mentioned. Okay, because you may look at this grant and you may be like, damn, I don't even know what to propose, but I want to do something, right? So we're gonna say, based on Lily's bio and all the information that we shared about her, what can Lily do? So it's researching, and here's some ideas for Lily. Lily can do a musical theater workshop with community participation. Here's giving her the concept of the project, how she can engage the community, what the public component would be, and then budget budget considerations, right? Then it says she can also do an outdoor pop-up musical performance in the Bronx parks, right? Weird rock musical for a creation residency for local youth. Fantastical storytelling through music, a performance series. Bronx Stories Through Song, a collaborative musical project. So which one did you like best, Lily? What do you think of these? First of all, what do you think of these ideas?
I think they're pretty interesting. I would not have thought of a workshop series with community participation. I like how it gives the titles to it as a whole, and they pulled it from like the words that I gave it. I really laughed at the weird rock musical residency, so I think that's probably my favorite.
Okay, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna say, let's go with number 3. Help me draft a project proposal.
Wow, I like how it gives the goals right there. That's really helpful in like writing a proposal.
And it tells you what you could teach in the workshop. If some of these things are out of your skill base, you could also change them or remove them completely by just telling the ChatGPT to include something or remove it, and it'll rewrite it, right? Then you have public performance and community engagement. It tells you project location and timeline. Even tells you, hey, you should do this in a local school, right? Then you have retrain, how you should reach your primary audience, potential project impact, and here's your budget.
Wow. Wow, that's really cool. And so it knows it knows what that specific grant is asking for and given
Right,
exactly
because
what it's asking for.
we uploaded the guidelines.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is always great. If you come across a grant, download the guidelines, upload it, and upload your bio if you don't. So for example, on ChatGPT, my bio is already part of the ChatGPT. So I don't need to constantly tell it who I am. Like you could set it up so that it knows who you are within the settings. You could set up your profile and you don't need to constantly repeat yourself, okay? So here, you could just upload the guidelines and do, like I said, do I qualify for this grant? Based on what you know about me, do I qualify for this grant? So for example, we're gonna get out of Lily my information for Dominican writers is on here, right? So I'm going to upload the guidelines and see how it applies to Dominican writers, right? Does this grant do any of these grants apply to DWA? If so, please, if so, let's brainstorm project ideas that I can submit. See, since it already has the Dominican Writers Association information, here it mentions Dominican American community. It mentions our usual audience, right? So here are the project ideas: a community storytelling project, a Dominican American Writers Festival, a Bronx Literary Heritage documentary, a themed anthology project, a bilingual literacy workshop for families, which some of these things we already do. So then it's telling me select the project idea. Once you decide on the project, we can draft a project narrative and outline the budget. So let's say I want to go with we haven't done a festival, so I should probably say let's go with number 2. Let's go with number 2. And here is drafting our info. Right?
But even knows the amount of words, it's giving those parentheses of like 100 words, 700 words. It's taking that
Yeah,
right.
because it's likely in the guidelines.
Wow, that's cool.
Right? So here it's telling me what my expenses would be, what the income would be if I were to get sponsors or even sell tickets for this. And then it says, let's move for the next step. I could go ahead and finalize a venue. I could refine the budget. I could draft the application with this detailed project description. Let's do number 3. So these are probably the questions within the application. Not sure, but you'll know that once you open the application. So the application, where's my browser?
I have a question.
Who's that?
Eduardo.
Eduardo, go ahead.
I can tell that the system knows who DWA is as an institution. Did you go out of your way
Yeah,
to set that
so
up?
I mentioned earlier that on ChatGPT, within the settings, you could tell it who you are. Right? So if I go here on the right, this is my personal account. If I go to customize ChatGPT, here's my bio. What would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? So within the 1,500 characters that we could provide, I put in as much information I could about the work that DWA does, right? And then here, when it's asking me, how would I like ChatGPT to respond to me? I tell it to refer to me as Angie, and I want it to have opinions and have a formal response and always be clear and precise in those responses. So once I save this, I never have to tell ChatGPT who I am because it already knows. That information is stored on my account and it knows who I am. So whenever I start a conversation about anything, it will always apply that information to it. So you saw the difference between Claude and the information it gives you. It drafted the similar budget. on Perplexity, I mean. And then on Claude, we didn't go that far, but I could say here on Claude also upload and say, let's brainstorm project ideas. So here you see Claude will show you the file that we uploaded, and it takes a little bit longer to draft a response. So are these project ideas the same? It had, Lily, it suggested a community created rock opera workshop, a musical stories of the Bronx series. It only gave you 2 suggestions.
I like those. Those are both cool, and I like what they say below. Before we develop these further, I'd like to ask, especially that do you have any existing connections to Bronx communities? Like that's such a good question.
Right. And then as you saw, ChatGPT just went in on and gave you, you know, what it gave you 5 project suggestions. And if you want other ideas, you could continue asking it and say, no, I don't like any of these. Give me 5 more ideas. Give me 3 more ideas.
Or like, I like something about this, but I don't like this. Like, brainstorm more then.
Right. How's everyone else doing? Dionisio, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm working on it, but all is going well. And I'm really taking in what you're saying about chat and like the customization. I'm very familiar with using chat.
Okay.
But I wasn't aware that you can upload your bio and all those kinds of things. So that really kind of like piqued my interest right there. So
yeah, so you could just in the settings, you could tell it who you are as a visual artist.
Yeah.
And the work that you do.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And it's something you can like update too, right? All the time.
yes,
And,
you
like,
could constantly update it. So
Yeah.
I also have a Google Doc, since the bio section on ChatGPT has a limit.
Mhm.
I also have a Google Doc where I actually break down everything that we actually offer. Right? So where am I? Let me see. If I open, I have this document where I have, okay. So I have this document here. You're gonna open. Okay. Oh, this is an old one. Downloads. Here we go. Okay. So I have whenever you feel like it, also still giving me an old one or not. Okay. So this is a current programming that we're offering under Dominican Writers Association, right? So I break down every single type of program that we're doing, how many teaching artists we have under it, any new initiatives that we have, any partnerships, collaborations, et cetera, right? I break down every single service that we offer also to the writers, what we do with the Department of Education, the work that we do in Dominican Republic, who our partners are in Dominican Republic, etc. This is a 8-page document, right, of everything that we do. There's no way that I'm able to copy and paste this into the ChatGPT bio section. So what I do is I keep this file handy And when I need something specific, I attach the file to the chat GPT conversation. Right? But here in the chat GPT, for example, yesterday, no, not yesterday, but I have a grant guide assistant. So if you paid for chat GPT, you could create an assistant and you don't need to constantly repeat yourself. It's like having a secretary. Your secretary is going to come into work. They already know that bring my coffee, bring my calendar. What are my phone calls for the day? What do I need to do? You don't need to repeat yourself to your assistant every day. Unless you fire her, then you need to get a new assistant and train them again and go through that whole process. So ChatGPT, you can create an assistant on the paid version. This is my assistant to applying for grants, right? And here, what I do is, so on your bottom left that it says explore GPTs, these are GPTs that other people have created and that you have access to using. Look through them. They are incredible, great GPTs. Every day there's more and more of them that could help you through them. One of my favorite ones is the YouTube video summarizer, where you could just share a YouTube video and it will break down what was the conversation in that YouTube video. And from that conversation, you could create other content. So I do that with my author interviews or the writing workshops that we have with an author. I'll share the link with the video, and then it'll tell me, this is what so-and-so spoke about in her workshop. And if you haven't used the Google, it's called Google Notebook LM. Google, you share a YouTube video with them and it will create a podcast. So there's so much stuff out there that you could use to create content for your org, for yourself as a creative artist and whatnot. But going back to the grant guide that I'm going to go here where we can edit this grant guide. And if you look here where it says configure, this is where I indicate to the ChatGPT what I want it to do every time I use it. Right? So here I tell it I am the executive director of a nonprofit. It's called this and this and that. I tell it what the nonprofit does, right? So it kind of has like our bio in there. Then I have, I tell it that the grant guide, this chat assistant, is an expert in grant writing for literary nonprofits. I was specific because we are a literary nonprofit, not a musical nonprofit, not a theater nonprofit. We are a literary nonprofit. Offering professional yet approachable advice. The ChatGPT assistant will provide detailed, clear guidance on crafting proposals, understanding grant requirements, and identifying funding resources. While knowledgeable about various grant types suitable for literary nonprofits, avoid giving legal advice or promises about grant success. In ambiguous situation, ask for clarification or offer advice based on the typical scenarios of this sector. Your tone should be encouraging and supportive, helping users navigate the complexities of grant writing with confidence. Tailor your response to be accessible to beginners and informative for experienced writers. I didn't write all that, okay? I'll show you how that came about, okay? But here, if you notice, I could upload files. So here I uploaded information about artist statements, information about grant writing resources, about proposal writing, and I uploaded the file that I showed you about all the services that we offer. So this is always going to be in its memory bank. And every time I open this grant guide, I don't need to repeat myself and tell it who we are and what we do, right? So anytime I want to change that, I could just go in there and update it. So here, I could just upload the Bronx right, guidelines that we shared and not say anything to it. I'm just going to share it to the assistant that I created. And it's telling me what this content includes. What did it do here? It didn't read the file. So I need to correct something. Let's go back. I'm gonna say read these guidelines. Okay, so here's reading the guidelines and telling me, breaking down the information in it. Telling me what I need to include, what the grant process is like, and whatnot. And then it's telling me, let me know if I like further breakdown or any specific sections. So see, now I know that this grant guide, I could just go in here and say, I could just go in here and edit, because now I know that it's not doing something that I wanted to do. I need you to share how we fit when I share guidelines with you, offer project ideas. I'm just gonna update this. And then I could try it out right here. So let's see. Let's see if it changed. So see, now it's telling me, I see that you provided the Grants Council of the Arts guidelines. Here's how DWA can approach this grant application. So given the information I shared about everything that we do, it's telling me that I could use our Little Readers program and our Narratives in Medicine program. Because those have community engagement and they also have public benefit. Right? So it's giving me all this information. And then I could just move on and say, let's create some project ideas. Right? So that's an example of when you create a chat assistant on ChatGPT. There was something else that I wanted to share. Does anyone have questions, comments, concerns?
Hi Angie, thank you for the workshop. I just wanted to know, like, can we copy and paste some of these answers that they are generating, or do we have to cite it in a certain way, or how does that work?
You do not need to cite it, but what happens is that a lot of, how do I say this? A lot of places are now detecting the usage of AI. So you would need to rewrite it in your own words, or I think Quillbot will humanize the text so it doesn't sound like it's AI, because people will run it through a platform and see if you just went somewhere and created this out of the blue. So though these are just tricks and tools that I'm teaching you, I don't recommend you completely copying and pasting to a grant application. I would recommend you could copy and paste it into a Google Doc and start rewording it in your own words, right? And just type it in there and then copy and paste it from a Google Doc onto the grant application.
Okay,
Because what happens is that there's certain language within the ChatGPT and some of these AI applications that are just universal, they're everywhere. and it's easy to tell them apart. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, what was that website you mentioned? Quill, what?
Quillbot. Let me go here. So here you go. It's Quillbot. See, it has a different kind of AI detector. So you could upload the text here or paste the text, for example. So let's do that with one of the proposals that we did here. With okay, here's one of the projects, right? So we're just gonna copy and paste this into Quillbot. And it's going to analyze the text. And you see, it says it's 100% AI generated. Right? So then I have the option of doing like a paraphraser on Quillbot, which you have here. So we could say paraphrase. Yeah, Quillbot has done so many amazing things. But yeah, these are ways that you could, and up here what you have is you have language options on the top, and then you have tones. Do you want it to be a fluent tone, a natural tone, a formal, academic, simple, whatnot, etc. So let's see if we copy and paste this and we go back to here, will it say that it's AI generated? I don't know, because it just paraphrased it. So let's do that and let's analyze it again. Oh, it says it was 60% AI generated. Look at that. Right? So these are Quillbot is also just another tool that you could use. I think I have the premium version, but it's only $8.33 a month. You could pay it annually as well, but it's a great resource for you to have. It has a plagiarism checker, grammar checker, a summarizer, translator, and all of that good stuff. So that's just another option so that you don't get caught out there with these grants. Oh, did I just close this? Any other questions, comments? Everyone else is good? No questions? For those of you who have been doing the exercises, is there anything that you have learned that you didn't know before, or what do you think about this process?
Excuse me, Angie.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that Google app? LM. You said something. It was kind of a.
Yeah, let me get you the full name.
Thank you. And have you used that? Like, could you tell me a little more?
I played around with it,
Okay.
but it's really interesting.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
It's called Notebook LM.
Okay.
Larry and Mary .Google.
You Labry and Mary. Say that last part again.
So those are the initials, LM.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Notebook LM. Thank you.
Yeah, so you could upload, for example, yeah, let's
Yo, you should do that.
Here's the website. You guys could see it. This is the website, Notebook LM. You
Okay.
could let's create something. Let's upload. I'm gonna I'm going
Do
to
that.
upload.
Do the video from Ode to Rats. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No. I am going to upload one of our. Oh, it only lets me do PDFs. Interesting. Oh, I don't know. What am I gonna do? Let's do this. This is a storybook draft. A
Okay.
children's book. So it's uploading it. So what it does is that it creates a banter between two people, right? So here we have deep dive conversation, two hosts. I want it in English. I'm asking it to generate the podcast. And guys, go on YouTube and look this up. There's tons of people out there talking about it, letting you know what you could do with this. This is being pitched to college students because you could take a lesson that's being taught to you, and you could have two people going back and forth about the lesson in a podcast style.
So a follow-up question. So this is providing like the dialogue between two is like a script just to go off of pretty much. And is that kind of the base of that? What it's like regurgitating out to you? Is that what you're saying? Or
It does it based on what you uploaded.
and can you upload? You said, is this the one you said you can upload like videos to it and it'll analyze it, or was that a different?
No. So the one to analyze videos is a ChatGPT
Okay.
assistant. It's called YouTube Video Summarizer, and you could
Okay.
see that when you click Explore GPTs, there's
Okay.
options.
On the left side. Okay.
But that left side menu is something I created.
Oh yeah, because I don't have the
Okay.
paid
So
version.
here we go, guys. So it did the story. Okay, so listen up.
Let's ditch the snow for this deep dive
Oh, yeah.
and trade those classic snowy Christmas scenes for something a little brighter.
This is
I am
a
so
children's
ready.
Christmas
We're
story.
heading to the Dominican Republic to experience how
draft.
they celebrate Christmas.
That's fun.
You might want to grab something tropical to sip on while we uncover the magic of a Dominican Christmas.
Okay, I'm getting a coconut mojito.
Perfect choice.
Hey.
Our source for this deep dive is a draft document.
Okay,
It's called A Dominican Christmas Story.
catchy title.
It's packed with all sorts of fascinating details.
I'm ready to dive in.
So let's get started. What really struck me about Christmas in the Dominican Republic is that music is like,
The heart of it all.
exactly, it's not just background noise. It's woven into the very fabric of their celebration.
It's true. Music is everywhere during the holidays,
And forget about those traditional carols we're used to.
like Jingle Bells and all that.
Yeah. Instead, we're talking about Alas Arandelas, their signature Christmas carol.
Okay,
Have you ever heard of
I have. It's so lively.
it? It's infectious, right? You can practically feel the festive spirit in every note.
You can almost smell the piloncillo in the air.
It's so vibrant. With the gura setting the rhythm and the tambora
The
and accordion
gura.
joining in.
The guira, that's what they meant.
Absolutely. It just makes you want to get up and move.
Oh, for sure.
Speaking of getting up and moving,
What about those?
they have this tradition called aguinaldos,
Right?
which takes caroling to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are aguinaldos?
Well, imagine it's late at night
Okay.
and you're gathered with your loved ones,
Mhm.
instruments in hand, ready for some music.
That's cozy.
Suddenly, there's a knock at the door.
Mhm.
And as it opens, you're greeted by another group of friends or family.
What?
And they just burst into song, filling the room with that incredible Dominican Christmas spirit.
That's so cool.
It's all about spreading joy through surprise musical visits.
It's like a surprise party, but with Christmas carols.
Exactly. And it's a beautiful way to strengthen community bonds during the holidays.
I love that. It's not just about the music, though, right?
Oh, definitely not.
The document also talks about these unique decorations.
Oh, the charamicos.
Yes, the Charamicos. Tell me more about it.
Yo, that just made like all of my
So-
holidays sound much more PG than really.
So guys, one thing that I didn't notice is that you could now do it in other language. Which I'll just, oh, how do I, okay, here's, I'm gonna try it in Spanish because now I'm curious. Where's the story?
pick Dominican Spanish though.
No, I don't think you could pick
I
You
was
could
joking. I was joking. I was joking.
No, I mean, eventually, I'm pretty sure you
Actually,
could. So
actually, you can.
now, ChatGPT,
Word.
ChatGPT now allows you to choose it to speak any kind of dialect and whatnot.
Yeah, I tried Dominican Spanish on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
now it's a thing. But here I thought I saw okay, where it said load, but I wanted it, I thought I saw something in a different language, but I guess it didn't come up at this point. But yes, so here you go. So one of the things, for example, here we have the video summarizer, right? So what I could do here is upload, here's a workshop that we did recently that's on, or I could just go to YouTube. Yeah, I could just go to YouTube, go to a recent video that we had. So I am just going to use this writing workshop that we have here, right? So I'm going to share the link here, right? So now it's going to give me an outline of what's in this video of the conversation. I don't need to sit through the 2-hour conversation. Here's the outline. Now, from this outline, I could say, help me create a community project to pitch to a grant from this information. I could convert this information into anything that I needed to. And look, it says here's a community proposal.
Yo, so I could see how this and ChatGPT, like these two apps, can be like a powerhouse for like a single person to use, like myself, a single entity to use like that.
Yeah, definitely. So here, let's say we take this workshop, right? And I'm just going to copy and paste some of this information, and I'll go into Notebook LM, start a new one. I'm going to copy text from that workshop because it gave me the outline. So I have it over here. I'm going to insert it. Right. Hold on. It's telling me key topics, but I want to, how do I, I want to start a new notebook. New note, here we go. Oh no, that's not it. Yeah, now I'm stuck. But the idea would be, that it would create a podcast talking about that workshop. Okay, so you could just use your creativity, ask any questions that you may have, and that maybe you just explore all the possibilities. You could even say that to ChatGPT or any of these AIs. Now that you know who I am, let's explore all the possibilities of projects and activities and ideas that I could do and that I could use to apply for grants. Questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you for that example and the clarity. Thank you.
I don't know. Lily, how you feeling? Did she leave? Is she still here? Oh, I think she left. Anyone else? No questions?
Angie, I gotta say that thank you, because last week when you talk about that tool Perplexity, it's, yeah, so I found like a new grant to apply for. That was amazing. I never imagined that I could apply to a New Jersey grant, and so thank you.
Well,
This is
make sure you qualify, because sometimes New
I
Jersey grants are only for New Jersey residents.
I qualify. I qualify.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
So you see, so Perplexity is great for you to do your research. You know, if you want to give it again, we used Perplexity here because we use all three of them. We use ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity. I love for Perplexity for research. It gives you the resources, the sources, the link, so that you could double check that the information that it's giving you is correct. But yeah, is you just need to know who you are, what your project is, have some inkling of what it is that you want to do. And Perplexity is going to tell you, hey, these are your options. You know, even going anywhere like Dionisio, you're a visual artist. If you have no clue what type of workshop to offer with your expertise, you could just, again, put your artist statement in there or a few sentences about who you are. And you could ask, like, what kind of activities can I offer with my skill set, right? So it could be your resume or it could be your artist statement if you have polished it. And you just go in there and ask ChatGPT or Perplexity, let's brainstorm some ideas of what I could do. I want you to be as creative as possible, right? And if you want to offer it for the Children's Art Carnival, you could tell it, hey, I want to offer it to the Children's Art Carnival. These are the demographic. These are the audience that come in here. We have this many kids that take advantage of our services, or this many adults. I want this to be bi-weekly or monthly or however, you know, just ask away, and it will brainstorm and give you a list of things and copy and paste them into a Google document, and you could continue working on them.
Right.
I have people who ask me for workshops all the time, and I was like, I never done that before, but wait a minute, I'll get back to you. Right? And I go on ChatGPT and I'm like, yeah, I created this workshop. Here's what it is. This is how much it's going to cost you.
Got it. I'm working on the question. I'm just stuck on the part about the impact of my work.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
you could even if you're not clear what the impact of your work is, just off the first two answers that you share, you could ask, what do you think the impact of my work is?
Got it.
Right? I'm not sure what my impact is. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what is my impact. And it will tell you. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, Pilar left, Lily left. They had to go, but I'll send them the info. So everyone's all good?
I have, I guess my question would be more like on that part of where you said that I can ask it what the impact of my work is. Do I do that after I give it what I came up with?
You have to give it some context.
Right.
Yeah, like what is your art medium? Who are you as an artist? What are your skills? Right? What type of work have you done before? What's important to you as an artist? You know, is it just being an artist where you're just doing exhibits and you're not really involving the community? Or are you interested in involving community and having people learn more about the type of work that you do, and, you know, making it some type of interactive process for them?
And I just had a question about the way you where you write, you are a grant writer with more than 20 years expertise. Is it that you're telling ChatGPT that they're a grant writer with more than 20 years? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So
Oh,
it's important that you assign a role to the ChatGPT so that it knows how to help
okay.
you. So, for
Okay.
example, you
Okay.
need, because it's going to advise you, right? So what kind of
Right.
person would you like to advise you, right? So you could say, I have debt. I want you to be a person who worked in finance for 15 years. I want you to know the ins and outs of managing money because I'm going to ask you a question and I need you to give me sound advice,
Got it.
right?
So
So if
you're
you tell it what role to take on, the better the response input is going to be.
got it. Clear.
Okay. Anyone else? Maciel, how you feeling?
I'm good. I think I just have to get started. That's the hard part.
Why is it hard?
Well, I basically have my project out, like my project overview, and I know my mission and all that. But I think what I'm having a hard time is actually applying to the grants. And like it takes me so long to finish one that I have like all of these that I want to apply, right? Because I want to
But you have to start small, right? Don't overwhelm yourself with applying to everything. Find one. You could even download the guidelines for all of them, upload them to ChatGPT and ask it, which one do I have a higher chance of getting, right? And apply to that one. But if they have too close of a deadline, as a first time grant applier, I wouldn't recommend overwhelming yourself. Apply to one, get into the habit of applying, and then then you can move on to the part where you're applying to multiple grants at the same time because they do take up a lot of time and energy. And if you have hard time answering questions, you also have the AI that could help you flesh out those questions. So these questions that they're asking you are not anything out of this world. So they're basically about your work and how you're going to make it happen.
Yeah, I guess I have to focus more on like how I word it so that Perplexity can not limit me so much. Because I think the last time I tried it, it gave me like 2 options. And then I didn't qualify for one of them because of where I lived.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Again, the more information you give it, the better. And also, when you assign it a role, tell it to stay open-minded, and to be as creative as possible and give you as many options as possible. Like if you don't want it to limit you, tell it, I don't want you to limit me. Give me, and if you don't like the options that it's giving you, tell it, give me more options. Let's keep working on this. Because it could be your coach. It could be your grant writing coach. You could look at it that way. You could assign it that role and say, hey, you're going to coach me through this process.
Okay, so I can ask it. I can say, explain more my situation. Like I'm a first-time grant writer. You are my mentor, and this is the grant that I'm interested in. How do you suggest I approach it?
Yep. Yes. Yes. Yes, you can. Anyone else? Talk to your ChatGPT as you would speak to any person.
Okay, that gives me clarity because the last couple of questions you answered, it helped me out with, because I was thinking the adverse, like like what you said, like that's what you want ChatGPT to be in the parameters to give you feedback on, like what kind of level, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. What is your creative project, Rosendo? Or discipline?
Oh, right now? Well, I'm still doing screenwriting, and I'm also working with a community in Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greensboro. I did a couple of events, and they're not really literary involved, but they're like multi-facet artistic open air community activity projects. Like I did one in June and one in July, June in Greensboro in July and Charlotte. So I'm expanding when it comes to these events, I'm expanding the network I work with, but specifically with myself, I'm still doing screenwriting. Not in playwriting as much as I used to be, but still doing screenwriting with my family and what I may have mentioned to you before. But that's the disciplines to answer your question for the most part.
Okay. All right, then. Okay, guys, I am going to end this workshop and send you more information and more resources along with the recording of this video. Leo had to step away. Let me see. He said, thank everyone for coming out. Please follow the Children's Arts Carnival on Instagram. And, you know, stay connected with them. I think they have a newsletter. I'm not sure, but go on their website, sign up for the newsletter, and so that you could keep informed on other workshops being offered by them. Okay? All right, guys.
We do have a newsletter.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Angy.
Yes, you do actually, because I get them. Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
Angy.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Everyone with your
Thank you. Thank you
project.
very much.
Take care.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too.
How do I stop recording?